Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another video. Today I am ranking championship away days. Now there is a few grounds here I haven't been to, so I will have to put them in the not been to category, but the ones I have been to I will be ranking today. Get your thoughts down below, make sure to drop a like. We'll go for 100 likes on this video. Hit that subscribe button and let's get straight into this. So then you can see I've got all 24 teams in the championship for the 21-22 season scattered across the bottom. I'm going to put them into these 5 categories. At the bottom is not been to, so I'll have to put the grounds I've not been to. Next is League One. Next is decent. Above that is the great away days, and at the top are class away days. Let's go through the grounds I haven't been to yet and just chat about them very briefly. Starting off with Craving, Cottage, Fulham. I didn't get to go to this game this season, but it looks like a very decent ground. I like the location on the Thames, some decent fans, a decent away end, but I haven't been, so I will have to be fair and put it in there. Same applies for AFC Bournemouth. Now, a slightly different ground, decent club, obviously. They're back in the Premier League now. Well done to them getting promoted, but also haven't been, so I cannot judge it. If we were judging it on size, you'd maybe say League One, but I really haven't been, so I'm going to say not been to. Huddersfield, now that looks like a very decent ground. I didn't get to go this season. I might next season if they don't go up. If they do go up, I might have to visit when I can, but Huddersfield looks like a decent stadium, some decent fans there, but I've also not been to it. Kenilworth Road, one of the iconic grounds in this stadium, is one I'm going to have to tick off next season. I haven't been to it yet, so I'm going to put it in not been to. Also, the Riverside, I nearly went to Middlesbrough this season, but I didn't in the end. I think that game was in January and I had to work or something, but they're in the championship next year. I'll try and tick that one off. I haven't been yet. Same for Queen's Park Rangers, nice little ground in London, looks quite nice. Like I say, if I was to judge it on not going, maybe it'd go in the great category, but I haven't been, so I have to be fair to all these teams and put them down there. Also, Preston, Deepdale, one I'm going to have to try and tick off next season. Haven't been to Deepdale or Preston before, so I've not been. I'll put it there. And the last ground I haven't been to is Cardiff City. Now, Cardiff City I was actually going to go to in February for their game against Coventry, but I came down with tonsillitis. So that is the final team I haven't been to see. 8 away days I haven't done. That still leaves us with 16 away days that I have done. So let's talk about them. First up, the City ground. The first time I went this season, and it is easily a class away day. Honestly, everything about this is class. The City of Nottingham, honestly, there's so much to do. It's so diverse. Obviously, the stadium is magnificent. Loads of history. It's on the River Trent, and their fans, incredible. A decent away allocation as well. So, yeah, Nottingham Forest, absolutely brilliant. Some of the noise they made, and it's been a real fortress this season as well, with the results they've been picking up, especially under Cooper. So, easily a class away day. I cannot speak highly enough of Nottingham Forest. Peterborough next, and it's kind of the opposite for me. I didn't do Peterborough away this season, but I've been before when we were in League One with them, and for me it's a League One stadium. I don't know what the Peterborough fans will make of that. They might agree it's not the biggest stadium. It isn't actually the smallest. I think it's Luton or Bournemouth. They might both be smaller than Peterborough, but I haven't actually been to those grounds. Peterborough as an away day, there's a little bit to do outside the stadium. There's a pub here and there. There's a KFC not far away, but yeah, we're in the championship now. It's not the best away day. Swansea City, I didn't do it this season, but I have done it before, so I can rank this. And I'd say decent. Decent ground. It's a nice little ground, isn't it? It's kind of right for Swansea. I think it's 20,000, just a little bit more than that. So I'm going to put it in decent. I quite enjoyed going away to Swansea. That was a couple of years ago now. Reading is a ground I got to for the first time this season, and I'm also going to say decent. And to be honest, when we went, it was a special occasion, Reading's anniversary, so they had more fans than they probably usually would do, which maybe raised my opinion of them if I'd have gone to a different game. Obviously, Reading haven't had the best season, but their fans were fairly vocal and the stadium itself was quite nice. Barnsley, now this is one I've been to quite a lot. I've done Barnsley away so many times. It's usually a good game, which does help. If you go to an away day and the game is rubbish or your team loses, it can kind of affect your judgment. But yeah, there's a few things to do in Barnsley. I'm also going to put it in decent. Now, Derby County is a ground I got to for the first time this season. Actually went twice, once away with Coventry, and I actually went in the home end when they played Birmingham City, and that was the most attended championship game so far this season, other than obviously the playoff final will be, and it was incredible. The Derby fans are so passionate. It's a nice stadium. It's a modern design. It's to be honest, it's a Premier League stadium, isn't it? But they are going to be in League One. But I'm glad I got to go to it this season. Derby, I'm going to put you in class next to Forest. Next up are Stoke City. I didn't do it this season, but I have done it before. I went to watch Stoke play a championship game a couple of years ago, and it's a great away day for me. I think their fans are quite vocal. If they're doing well, obviously they'll be even more vocal, and the stadium's quite nice, decent away day. Decent away allocation, should I say. A great away day. Next up, Bristol City. Now, this is a tricky one for me because I have been, but I went a few years ago just before they started doing some redevelopment. So it's probably better now than it was then. So I will factor that in. I did enjoy my away trip to Bristol City. They did beat my team Coventry on that occasion. I'm going to say it's a great away day. Next up, Bramall Lane, Sheffield United. And I've got to say, I've been twice to see my team Coventry play here. We didn't score on either occasion, which could have affected my judgment and made me think, oh, I don't like going to Bramall Lane. But no, I've got to give credit to the stadium itself and the city of Sheffield. Obviously, quite a lot to do there. Their fans, they always seem to get a massive crowd. I remember even in League One, they had well over 20,000 for most games. Sheffield United, you are going in class. I really like going to Bramall Lane. Next up, the Hawthorns. I've been to West Brom quite a few times before. I went in the away end, obviously, this season when Coventry went. And I've been in the home end before with my friend who's a West Bromwich Albion fan. It's tricky to judge. If we're judging it on this season, it's probably not as good as when they were in the Premier League or other seasons, because West Brom's fans, a lot of them have just been like, nah, I don't want any of that this season, because obviously it's been poor and you can understand why some of them have not been going. Regardless of that, for all the times I've been put together, I'd say it's a great away day. I think the Hawthorns is quite a nice ground, actually. Great. Next up, Hull City. Now, I got to this for the first time this season. It's a nice stadium. I wouldn't say it's League One at all. I think it belongs to be in the Championship. A bit like Hull City, who've done very well this season to survive. And do you know what? I might go again next year. I'm going to put Hull in decent. Next up are Blackpool. I didn't go this season, but I have been to Blackpool before when we were both in League One. That is going back a few years. And do you know what it is for Blackpool? The stadium's nice enough. Bloomfield Road, nothing wrong with it. It's not the biggest stadium. You can get a good atmosphere in there. Their fans are quite good. The away fans can make a bit of noise. But it's the away day itself, you know, the location. And like I say, if you go on a Saturday in spring or summer, it could be quite nice. And for that, I'm going to be nice to Blackpool. I'm going to say it's a class away day. Next up, Blackburn Rovers. I did get to go to Ewood Park this season, and the fact it was a good game, it was a 2-2 draw, probably raises it in my estimations. But regardless, the stadium's quite nice. The home fans were not the best I've seen, but they were still quite good. A couple of pubs dotted around. I'll say Ewood Park and Blackburn is a great away day. Millwall. Now, I ticked this one off for the first time this season. Got to go to the Den. Obviously, there's a lot of hype about when you go to the Den for the first time. It's like, oh, it's this really scary atmosphere or whatever, or the Millwall fans are a bit crazy maybe. But I didn't really feel that too much. Maybe because it's Millwall v Coventry. It's not the biggest game in the world to the Millwall fans. Obviously, if you go to the Den when Millwall are playing a London team at home, it could obviously be a bit more interesting, or a big club. I mean, imagine Millwall v Leeds. If Leeds came down, that'd be crazy. Anyway, as for the away day, there's quite a bit to do because it is in London, and I'm going to say it's a great away day. Next up, Birmingham City, a tricky one to judge. I've been so many times, and obviously so many times in the home end when my team Coventry played home games there. When I went this season, the thing that frustrated me was the ground is not fully open, so the away allocation was cut, the home allocation is cut, and it kind of affected the atmosphere. But is it unfair for me to judge Birmingham City on this season? Probably. I've been before when you're able to take 4,000 or 5,000 away fans, and obviously being in Birmingham, it's quite easy to access from most areas from the country. Obviously the train lines are pretty direct into Birmingham. Their fans are quite good. I'll say Birmingham City are a great away day. Last up, Coventry. It's tricky for me to judge because I don't see it as an away day. It's my team. In terms of what I think of the CBS, if we're judging it on this season, it's probably one of the best I've ever seen. Previous seasons, when it was called the Ricoh Arena, it's not always had the best atmosphere, and I've seen us average about 10,000 fans. But this season, we've averaged about 20. And if I was to try and put myself in the shoes of an away fan coming to this one, do you know what? There's a supermarket, there's pubs, there's shops nearby. There's obviously quite a lot of stuff going on at the CBS. It's got some good kiosks. The home fans, like I say, have been very good this season. It's a big away allocation, so I'll say Coventry City is a great away day. So then, guys, that wraps up this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you agree or disagree, just get down in the comments. Make sure to drop a like, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.